her.
Why? I'm excited for this episode, y'all, or this video. Okay, so today let's get straight into the video, y'all, because ain't nobody want a long intro, right? Okay, so basically I'm going to be reviewing The Ultimatum season 3 episode 1 and 2. There are 10 episodes in this season, so we're gonna do 2 by 2 because these episodes are long as heck, and who's gonna do all that? But yeah, hopefully y'all watched it through the end. These couples so far are all pissing me off because they're doing too much, and I think it's just the American culture. Like, at this point I need to catch up because everybody's doing it wrong in my eyes. Anyways, let's start. The Ultimatum consists of 6 couples. The 6 couples are Zaina 32, JR 33, Chanel 27, Micah 28, Mariah 24, Caleb 29, Vanessa 30, Dave 34, Aria 25, Gotti 30, and there's another couple. Shoot, it just slipped my mind. The other couple. I already said Chanel, it's not them. Oh, Nick and Sandy. So I think Sandy is like 25 and Nick is 38, if I'm not wrong. Okay, so we're gonna start with the first couple. Zaina's the one who issued the ultimatum to JR because they've been dating for 3 years. Don't quote me. They've been dating for 3 years, and she's 32, and she feels like she's running out of time, and JR is like, oh, like, I do love you, but I was already married and it didn't really go well. There was a lot of issues in my marriage, and I'm going to tell you guys those issues later on in the episode. And Zaina expressed that if JR doesn't commit to her, she's ready to leave. So that's basically what's going on with them. The second couple we see is Nick and Sandy. So Nick issued the ultimatum to Sandy because he's 38, I believe, and he's ready to settle down. He wants a house near the lake, he wants a dog, he wants children, and Sandy is 10 years younger than him, so she's just like, nah, like, yeah, I want all these things, but I'm still very young. And Nick was like, oh, I'm tired of feeling like the old guy, and she's still going out and partying, and I just want to settle down. And Sandy is just not for it. It's like, this is a forever thing, and I don't know if the grass is greener somewhere else. So that's Sandy's perspective on this whole thing. She wants marriage one day, she's just not ready now. Then we got Mariah and Caleb. Mariah and Caleb, I was gonna say they're one of the youngest couples. No. Mariah and Caleb have been dating for 2 years, and Mariah expresses how she may be young, but she knows exactly what she wants, and that she told Caleb very early on into the relationship that the goal was marriage and kids. And from Caleb's perspective, he feels like she didn't experience life enough yet, so how does she know that he's the one that she wants necessarily? And my thing is, well, Caleb, she's letting you know you're the one that she wants. You're the one that's confused. You're the one who doesn't know if she's the one you want. But don't try to put that on her. I really don't like when people try to put their issues on somebody else. It's like, don't be manipulative, okay? Mariah also expresses that if he's not ready to marry her after this trial, she's ready to walk away. Vanessa and Dave. Vanessa is the one who issued the ultimatum, and Vanessa, it's basically letting everyone at the table know that they've been dating for 3 years, and every time she brings up marriage, Dave always makes it seem like he's very uncomfortable. And don't do that. Like, if somebody's being vulnerable with you and you're just like, don't do that. If somebody's like, oh, I want to marry you, and you're just like, that's kind of rude. And I feel like that's Dave's attitude, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to get married, but who said I want to marry you? And it's so messed up. And Vanessa started tearing up and stuff. That's how I know it's deep, and that you're making her feel like it's embarrassing for her to want to marry you or think that you want to marry her. Don't do that. And then Dave expresses that he does want to get married, but he's just not in a rush to get married. Yeah, but my girl is 32 years old. Like, when are you going to be ready? This is what I'm talking about. Men these days, they're so selfish, and they always think the grass is greener on the other side because they're not the one with the biological clock. And it's just selfish. Leave me alone if you're not going to commit. The next couple is Aria and Scotty. They've been dating for 3 years. So Aria expresses that she does love Scotty very deeply, but she doesn't know if she's ready to commit to him because they live in different states, and that she would have to make all the sacrifices, move states, leave her family behind, and change careers. And right now she's at the peak of her career, and she just doesn't believe it's a good idea. And I agree with her, because it's scary to leave anything behind for a guy, because they're so quick to leave you behind, like, once they find somebody else that's better, younger. So it's a lot to take in. And Scotty is just like, Aria is scared of that because she had a bad example with her parents. Her mom left everything behind for her dad, and now they're not together, and her mom hates her dad. So she doesn't want that for her and Scotty. And Scotty is just like, oh, but it's not fair that you're putting your past experience or the examples of men in your life onto our relationship, which I also understand, because it's like, when is enough enough? How many times do I have to prove to you that I'm enough? But Scotty, I wouldn't feel secure either the way you treat her. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. Scotty also mentions how long distance isn't working for him anymore, and that they both have to compromise for their relationship. After Nick and Vanessa Lachey goes around and asks couples their issues in their relationship, or why they issued the ultimatum on their partner the first time, they explain the whole purpose of the show. So the purpose is they all have to break up, they all become exes, and eventually they're single and they start dating amongst each other to know if the grass was greener on the other side, or if it was their partners all along, or they want to leave alone, or they want to leave with somebody else. Which, that's too much. That's too much. Leaving with somebody else is crazy. Leaving by yourself is one thing. To find growth, you found yourself, you know what you want now, and it's not me. But for you to leave with somebody else, that's crazy. After that, they all go their separate ways. Each couple goes back to their individual rooms, and it's like the last night together before their dates. When they're all back in their separate rooms with their couples for their last night, Dave and Vanessa are having a conversation on the couch, and Dave is basically irritated with Vanessa for bringing them to the ultimatum because he feels pressured now. And I get it, it's almost like forcing somebody, but it's either you know what you want or you don't know. And then he goes to say, like, oh, by the way, what if I fall for somebody else? And she was like, okay, then that's what's gonna happen. And then he was like, the girl in front of us, he wants to act like he don't know the girl name. And she was like, who? Mariah? And he was like, yeah, Mariah, she's really interesting. Like, boy, say it with your chest. You wanted to bring it up, so say it with your chest. So she's like, she's interesting. He's like, yeah, like that's something I would basically pursue. And she was like, she's 24. My point, why would Aria want to move states, leave her family behind to go with Scotty, when men are so quick to leave you for the newest shiny toy, the untouched toy, like younger women, right? Why would Aria feel comfortable when there's men like Dave who are already expressing night one that what if they fall in love for somebody else that is mad young?
I mean, there's a very high likelihood that I connect with somebody during the dating week. Mariah. I was like, that's really interesting.
She's 24.
He is, I don't know, 35, I believe, and Vanessa is 24. Like, what will you have in common with a 24-year-old? You're old. You're about to be 40. Let me stop. But I'm just saying, why? She caught your eye, why? Like, is it because she's 24 or is it because she's your type? Vanessa was thrown off. She's like, but she's 24. That's what I'm saying. Like, us women, we might think a man is attractive, but as soon as we hear your age, we're like, yeah, no. And it's not even about you being mature or not. It's just, what will we have in common? Like, what are we gonna talk about? What are we gonna talk about? We're a decade apart. Like, it's not even about really the maturity or not. It's about you wanting to date a kid. Basically, obviously she's not a kid, she's 24, but she was in high school when you were a man. When you were of legal age. It's like, you're 35, my guy, and you want to date a 24-year-old. Settle down and try to get fucking married. How about that? You just want to party it up still at 35 years old. Grow up. And he's like, yeah, well, you brought me here, so if I fall for somebody else, I'm just saying, she's interesting. Vanessa was like, okay. So then after that, we see a clip of JR and Zaina, and we see a little bit of their relationship, and we can see how JR is actually a big sweet teddy bear. He's smitten over Zaina. He's like, oh no, like I don't want to let you go, like I care about you, da 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 da. And then Zaina is just like, what if you find somebody else? Go find somebody else. Maybe I'm not the one for you. That's what she's portraying. That's what I'm taking from what she's spilling. So does Zaina not care about JR? It's giving she wants an out. Just the way she's acting. But giving she doesn't even want JR anymore. JR is just like, no, I'm just scared to lose you. I don't want you to fall for nobody else. I really love you, da da da. And she's just like, I'm ready for these dates. You know what I mean? I'm ready for these dates. Come on, bring it on, da da da. And it's just like, okay. And maybe she's giving Virgo, so maybe she's a Virgo, and you know these people are nonchalant as F. So maybe she expresses emotions by joking, and she's actually really nervous and scared, but she just makes a joke out of it. But yeah, that's my impression of Zaina. It's like she doesn't even care if she loses JR. And it's like, girl, you might want to act like you care. Okay, then we go into speed dating. So in speed dating, honestly, the speed datings were so freaking boring. Like, nobody's conversation was interesting, but we see Nick and Vanessa, and they're talking, they're chatting it up, and Vanessa is expressing to Nick how when they first started dating, Dave really liked her, and she was like trying to catch up to him because she didn't really like him. And now it's the other way around, where she's giving him the ultimatum and needs him to catch up on marriage, and he's just like dragging his feet. And she's getting to know Nick, and they're laughing and, you know, having a good time. And then Dave hears that she's laughing and having a good time. He's just like, oh, why is she getting along so well with Nick? Does she like him? Is she falling for him already? What last night didn't you fall for Mariah, telling her you might fall for her? Now that she's having a genuine connection with somebody that she knows and she's laughing with, you have a problem that she's finding a connection. You had a connection by looking at somebody and saying, oh, I might fall in love with her. She's actually talking to someone and finding that connection. Like, let her be. That's the whole point of this freaking show. You're already folding. Day one, first date. You had all that energy last night telling her, oh, what if I fall for somebody else? You had your chest up. You was confident. Now that she's talking to this man and this man is giving her the giggles, you don't know what to do with yourself. Chill out. You're a grown man. Chill out. You're sweating. We can see it. So during these speed datings, Scotty is talking to Zaina, I believe. I'm not sure if he's expressing this to Zaina or somebody else, but somewhere in the speed dating, he was saying how he has good examples of how a husband should be towards a woman, because he grew up in a two-parent household, and how his mom and his dad are still together. And in my mind, I'm like, that's freaking hilarious, because the way you treat Arya is not giving your dad knows how to speak to your mom. Now, granted, I don't know his mom and his dad's relationship, but if how Scotty acts is the way his dad acts, his mom needs to run. She needs to go somewhere else, because the way he speaks to Arya is so demeaning, and it's so rude, and it's mad aggressive. Keep that in mind, because I'm going to explain that a little bit later in the episode. Yeah, he keeps bragging that he grew up in a two-family household, and then he has good examples, and if you're not showing one good example, you're like the most insecure, brattiest guy on here. It's giving your parents needed to not be together so you could be a real man. Because are you sure you grew up in a two-parent household? Because it's giving I missed out. It's giving I never had my dad in my life. Chill. There's too many red flags with Scotty. I would never marry a man like Scotty. I'm sorry. Can't do it. Maybe I'm too weak for a man like Scotty, because no thank you. Yeah, so going for a guy like Scotty is very dangerous. There's no green flags in Scotty. I'm sorry to say that. Then the singles are getting ready for cocktail hour and decide to play a game. Let Scotty explain it, because I don't even know.
A question to anyone in this circle. We flip a coin. If the coin lands on heads, whoever got asked the question has to say what the question was.
I don't even know where they came up with this game. So I think Vanessa asked Arya who did she have the least chemistry with, and she said Dave. Dave was very butthurt about that. And then someone asked Caleb, who would you spend the night with? And Caleb said Aria. And then somebody asked JR, which one of the guys you wouldn't want your ex to be with? And JR said Nick. Somebody asked Sandy, who would you want to go on a second date with? And Sandy said JR. And then I think Vanessa asked Nick, who are you most intimidated by? And he said Vanessa. And I just love the fact that he said that, because I know one of the boys would have thought he would have said JR, or he would have said one of the boys, but the fact that he said one of the girls is even better. Because can you imagine if he was like Dave? Everybody could see that JR is pursuing his girl. So I like the fact that he said Vanessa. That made him safe. He didn't seem insecure when he said that. So great save. I saw what you did there. I saw what you did there, Nick. Clack it. T. That's good, Nick. You just saved it. You didn't drop the ball, because you would have looked like a bitch if you said somebody else other than JR. So for you to say Vanessa, period. I would have never thought of that. I would have been like, nobody. And everybody would have been like, girl, bye. So the singles started mingling with whoever they were interested in, and Vanessa and Nick were talking some more. And you just see Dave just sulking, whining, don't know what to do with himself. It looks like he's about to shart himself because Vanessa is talking to Nick. He can't handle it. So much for all that big talk about Mariah. What happened? Go talk to Mariah. I feel like after Aria said she had less chemistry with Dave, that should just plummet his confidence. Because apparently she was his number one. Next couple that we see is JR and Sandy, and JR is teasing the whole time, and it's like, boy, play it cool. You're like a kid in a candy store when it comes to Sandy, and it's weird. Anyways, JR and Sandy start talking, and it gets deep real quick for no reason, and he's like, yeah, I used to be homeless, and it's like, okay, like, why are we saying this on the first date? I'm tired of sob stories on the first date. It's like, okay, you want me to feel bad for you? I'm not saying I wouldn't feel bad if somebody was homeless when they were a kid. I'm just saying, why are we going with that tactic? I get it, you have to be vulnerable, but not on the first date. What the heck? But keep in mind, he got vulnerable on their first or second date, and it's not even really a date, it's cocktail hour. Just keep that in mind, y'all. And the reason why I was irritated watching them is because he was like already caressing her, and like he put his arm around her, and it's just like, bro, it's day 2 and you're doing 2. It's not even, yeah, I think it's day 2, night 1, because the first night is them coming together and explaining why they gave each other the ultimatum. The next day they went on speed dating, and that night they went to cocktail hour. So it's basically day 2, night 1, and or night 2, I don't know. And you're already like caressing her, touching her like you know her like that. And oh, your exes are in the room, and we like, give it 48 hours, 72 hours, because it's, dang, you didn't even wait not one business day, a full business day. It's like, we're exes, we're single, let's do this. And it just shows me your morals are real fucking low, and it blows my mind. And then after talking about this sorry ass story about how he was homeless, they're like, yeah, like our sex life would be completely fiery, and it would be so passionate because we're both Scorpios, and you know what they say about Scorpios. And it's just like, why do people do this? Why do people do this? Like, that shit turns me off when people just talk about sex on the first date and stuff like that. Is that your only intent? That's so annoying. If we had an insight of what MGK and Megan Fox's first date went like, it's giving that. It's giving they were talking about sex the whole time and how passionate their sex might be. I hate when couples come out like that. Like, where's the passion? Where's the true, deep feelings? Like, where is that? I hate when it's just, what's your sign? You want to have sex? It's like, what? Why? What? Is it just me that gets turned off if a guy is like already talking about sex, even in the talking stage? Like, the guy keeps bringing up sex. I'm just like, boy, I see what you want. You don't want nothing other than the box, and I'm not giving you the box. That's crazy. Okay, and then we see freaking Zaina and Scotty locking fingers and shit, and I'm over here like, what are you guys doing? But I honestly feel like Zaina only did that after she saw how handsy JR was getting with Sandy. And in my mind, I'm just like, how can you guys be so comfortable doing this after breaking up a day ago and being together for 3 years and wanting marriage, and now locking fingers cuddling with other people. It's not adding up. I'm so confused. And this is another couple who's like, oh, I want marriage so bad. I want marriage so bad, but sex with you would be great. Like, why are we talking about sex all the time? Like, that could come later. Like, I don't even know your last name, and I'm over here like, oh yeah, sex with you would be great. What if this guy is a pedo? You don't even know nothing about him, and you just think sex with him would be great? Like, get to know the guy first. What is going on? Is it just me? Am I just too old-fashioned? Whatever you want to call it. But it's fucking annoying. I don't even see the passionate spark. And obviously this is a show, so production is obviously cutting clips. They probably talked way longer than what we've seen, but like, I don't care. It's day 2. Do you even have his favorite color memorized? Do you know his favorite song? Do you know his birthday? You know his sign, but do you know his birthday? It's just crazy. So then, obviously, the only sane one, the only common sense person is obviously hurt by it, Arya. She starts freaking crying, and he pulls Scotty aside and lets him know, like, hey, what you're doing is wrong. You can't just hold hands, lock fingers with somebody else while I'm right there in the room. Right. Does anybody else not have common sense? And I feel that if Arya did that with JR, Scotty would lose his fucking shit. He's the type that I know gets jealous if he sees her talking to him for too long and she's laughing her head off the whole time. So for him to be yelling at her because she's upset that he's intertwining fingers with another female, she has every right to feel that way. He's like,
you're literally holding another girl's hand.
I'm trying to marry you.
We're supposed to get to know somebody.
Exactly, so don't come at me and do this. You're coming at me foul.
Okay, you don't need to yell. You don't need to yell.
You need to stop coming at me like the way you're coming at me. Stop coming at me like that.
I'm done.
What, come here.
You know the premise of the show. Why are you doing this? And it's like, man, calm down. Am I the bitch or are you? If you're the man, lead as such, because you're yelling. Why are you fucking yelling? You're doing too much. He's like, don't come at me like that. You're coming at me crazy. Are you gay?
Are you gay?
Are you gay? It's giving you're the sassy one. I'm not trying to shame anybody for their character, but I hate when men like that act like they're so alpha, and then you see the bitch in them. You know what I mean? Boy, I roll my eyes so hard, and I'm like, red flag, red flag. If I had a red flag, an actual physical red flag, the moment I saw Scotty, I knew he was a red flag. As soon as he put his little shades on, I saw he was a red flag. Like, the quiet ones are the crazy ones. And Scotty, I know, gets crazy. He's a brat. Y'all need to watch this show. Scotty is a brat. It's crazy. And he's a gaslighter, narcissist motherfucker. Anyway, we come into episode 2. Cocktail hour is over. Arya is done with Scotty. And yeah, I swear to God, Zaina reminds me of Cardi, and I don't care what no one says. Especially when she smiles and she's like, she looks like Cardi B. All I see is Cardi, her goofy ass face. And I just say, Chanel is really freaking pretty. That girl, face card never declines. And her skin and her hair, her curls, to die for. So on the date with Chanel and Dave asked Chanel, oh, I feel like some people are here for a hall pass, and would you be hurt if your partner used this as a hall pass? And it's like, Captain Obvious, why are you asking that dumb question? And Chanel was like, yeah, I'll be hurt because we've been dating for like 2 years, and it takes you a day to do something with somebody else. Like, how deep was our connection? And I'm like, right. In real life, if I were to break up with somebody, I'm not gonna play the field in mad long. How can I? So for you guys to like fake play house but do sexual things, it's just not okay to me. It doesn't make sense to me. We're pretend broken up. Technically, we're pretend broken up. So for Zaina and JR to just move the way they're moving, it just blows my mind. I'm confused. What's going on in this relationship? Was it a real relationship? Do they just not get jealous? Or is it an open relationship? What's going on? Because you guys are quick. And Scotty's like, oh, Arya doesn't give me enough physical touch. Like, doesn't understand physical touch. And it's like, if you're yelling at her the way you do, I wouldn't want to touch you either. And I guess I get it. He wants somebody to touch him, so he liked the fact that Zaina touched him. Anyways, and then JR and Sandy, it's giving Sandy wants that hall pass. I'm sorry. Sandy just seems like a fast one, and sorry, not sorry. It just seems like she's seeing with her vagina and not with her heart. It's not giving that. It's not giving you're seeing JR with your heart. You're seeing JR because you want to climb JR. And like, ew. Not ill on her, ill on him. Like, ew. And the only reason I'm saying ill is because I really feel like JR has a fetish for white women. And it's weird. And y'all girlies know, especially us colored girlies, when a white man, Asian man, whatever man is like, ooh, like, I like you, black girl, da-da-da-da-da, I've always wanted to be with a black girl. That shit just sounds weird. Understand that he has a fetish of you and he just wants to explore you. Not necessarily that he thinks you're a beautiful black queen. He just has a fantasy of you, and that turns me the fuck off. JR is just drooling over this lady because she has white skin. He's acting like this is 1980s. He was never allowed to be with a white girl. Asa, nobody's coming for you. You can have her. Calm down. Anyways, oh, Aria and Caleb were talking, and like, not gonna lie, guys, I thought Caleb was fucking weird, okay? Because he just looks like how he sounds. Slow. So I'm just like, no, Caleb, next. Saw blue eyes, but it's not enough.
What are like your biggest insecurities? Not all physical.
Yeah, no, I wasn't gonna mention my ears.
Honestly, guys, I love Caleb. I love him. Like, that's my man. And the reason I say that is because I really like nice guys. Honestly, I really like nice guys. And that's why I love Zendaya and Tom. Because I know Tom treats her right. I know he's a good guy. To society standards, Zendaya is a 10 and he's maybe like a 7. And it's like, no, he's a 10 too because he's a good guy. You know? And I know him. I know Tom is a good man.
I know him, y'all. I know him. Just I know this man.
I just know him. But yeah, I just know that Tom Holland is such a good boyfriend and he worships the floor that Zendaya walks on. I don't care what no one says. Like, oh, Zendaya can do better. Nigga, you do better. How about that? Anyways, okay. Now it's a cocktail party again. So let's dive in. Dave is so weird. He has no game and he wants Vanessa to feel so bad. So he like flirts or attempts to flirt with Mariah in front of Vanessa. And he's just like, oh, I love talking to you because you make me feel so comfortable. And yeah, and Vanessa and Nick are looking at each other like, why did he say that right here, right now? Like, he could have just said, hey Mariah, can we talk like over there? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a normal person. But he just started going in and he was just like, Vanessa's behind him and he's like, yeah, Mariah, just a great girl and I just love talking to you because you make me feel so good about myself.
You emotionally, you just get it.
Thank you.
It's like, it's inspiring. To be around you, it's like I feel like I can just say anything and you have a really good, eloquent thought about it.
Like, ew, grow up. Maybe you do deserve a 24-year-old because you act like one. Like, what the f***? Use your words. Literally, if I was Mariah, I would have been like, thanks. Because why are you using me to make your girl uncomfortable? Like, I was just mad awkward. Mariah does not even feel or know that Dave likes her. Mariah is just, she's just worried about Caleb. And Dave is just like, yeah, you make me feel so good about myself. And she's just like, oh, thank you. Boy, go somewhere. And Vanessa, she's a G.
Trying to talk to me.
Come chat with me.
Vanessa basically pulled, what's his name, Nick aside and was like, come talk to me. And she looked back at Dave like, this is how you do it. Are you making everybody feel awkward? Like, go have a private conversation, feel me? And she also jumped over and she was like, let me go sit over there with Nick then, since you love this girl so much. Let me go sit over there. Like, you love this kid so much, let me go to my man. Right.
One of my favorite things to do.
Be vulnerable?
Because I'm secure about my insecurities.
JR again, he is acting like he's 16 on the football field, talking to Micah, saying, oh, have you ever been with a white girl? Like,
you ever been on a white girl before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I ain't never dated no
yeah,
white.
Me neither. So I'm kind of curious. And it's my opportunity to be with a white girl on, like, you know, strings of
what is up with you? And this is what I mean by, like, he has a fetish. It's not even a preference, it's a fetish. If you have a preference, cool, that's your type, that's what you go for. But once that becomes a fetish, it's just weird. And a lot of us colored women understand that, because there's a lot of men out there who wants to be with us because they want to see if it's spicy. Even Latinas. I know a lot of guys, black, white, anything, they be like, oh, I want me a Latina because I heard they're spicy. It's like, are you fetishizing me, or do you just think I'm hot? You know what I mean? And JR is giving you're fetishizing. Like, you're like, oh my God, I've never been with this creature. Let me try it. And it's like, ew.
So yeah, I just want to look cool, calm, and collective. I mean, look at me now.
You're doing too much. You're giving me dog and pillow humping. Like, you want to hump her? Chill. Chill, my guy. Play it cool. Play it cool. You're acting like a little virgin. Chill out. Act like you've been here before. Yo, act like you've been here before, though. No, for real. Play it cool. He's just like, my God, my God, my God, have you been with a white girl before? And it's like, this is 2024, my guy. Micah, this is not the first interracial couple Micah's had. It's just weird, guys. That's how I'm taking it. Anybody else can be like, oh my God, JR loves Sandy. JR has a fetish. JR wants his pee-pee wet. Feel me? Ew. If he just liked her for her, like, she's hot, she's my type, like, that's who I go for usually. Like, that's different. But for him to keep bringing up that she's white, okay, we get it. You want a snow bunny. Cool. Shut up. Making everybody uncomfortable. Like, that was on his bucket list for the longest, and finally a white girl paid attention to him. After we see that weird ass clip of Micah and JR on the couch talking about white bitches, we see Vanessa and Nick talking, and you can see that Vanessa's looking like over there, and she sees Dave sulking in a corner or whatever. So Nick was like, I think Dave needs you. He's like,
Dave wants you. I have to pee anyway.
How are you feeling?
There are times where I'm just like in my head a lot.
Vulnerable.
It's one of my favorite things to do. I'm secure about my insecurities. I mean, there's a very high likelihood that I connect with somebody during the dating week.
he's pacing. He needs to talk to you, and I need to use the bathroom so you can talk to him. So Vanessa's like, are you good? And he's like, no, I'm not good. And this is the fake crying men love to do when they want you to feel guilty, or they want to gaslight you because they're losing you and they want you to feel bad for them. They start fake crying.
Tell me.
Trying. Choked up. This like week is so really intense. Emotional stuff all the time.
Yeah. I do think.
Anyways, it's the next day, and people are going on dates with whoever they had connections with at the cocktail party. On Scotty and Zaina's date, they're just talking about what they like to sleep in. And honestly, I feel like Zaina just brought that up because she wanted him to know that she sleeps naked.
What do you typically sleep in?
Here, like, I've been sleeping in pretty much nothing. Like, I'll have some boxers or some shorts, and that's it.
Yeah. I typically maybe just panties.
Like, girl, shut up. Shut up. Like, girl. We get it. You guys are horny. I just can't. And then they finally talk about something that's fucking important and related to this purpose. And basically, Zaina was like, oh, I'm so tired of being independent. I just want a man to lead. And with JR, I feel like I always have to lead. And if I don't want to lead, I want to be led. And then Scotty's like, oh my God, that's so interesting, because with Aria, she never lets me lead. She never trusts what I say is right. And I just want her to trust me. And that was basically it for their freaking little date. The next clip goes to Aria and JR. So on JR and Aria's date, JR explains how he feels like Zaina wants to get married because all her friends are married, and which I understand, because when everybody's settling down, it's like they're moms, they're wives. They don't have time to hang out anymore, and you just feel left out. Even if you guys go on dates together, everybody else is married and everybody's like, my husband this, my husband that, my wife this, my wife that. You just feel left out. But I don't think she wants to get married necessarily because all her friends are married. I just think her friends got with men who knew what they wanted and settled down, and she just wants that too. So like every girl. So he expresses that she just wants to get married because her friends are married, and he's just not there because he experienced infidelity, and that if he gets married again, it's one and done. And after a little while, Arya consoles him, whatever, and JR expresses how he likes Arya and that he has a deep connection with her, and I don't believe him. I don't believe him. The way he looks at Sandy is different from the way he looks at Arya. You know what I mean? I don't believe him. I feel like he just had to say that because the conversation ended weirdly and it was awkward, so he was like, "You're so beautiful." Ew. She's eating it up. She's like, "Thank you." And it's like, Arya, he does not want you. Be for real. He's experienced enough mixed girls, according to him. So after his date with Arya, he goes on a date with Sandy, and this man is cheesing ear to ear. He's happy, he's excited to sit with the white girl, and he tells Sandy how she makes him a better person on their 4th date. Well, he did tell her that on their 3rd date on cocktail hours, but yeah, Sandy makes him a better person. But Sandy doesn't even know his last name. But yeah, she makes him a better person. Again, they're Scorpios, so you know they had to bring up sex again.
You got really nice lips.
Thank you.
Yeah. What type of kisser are you?
I like to like
sloppy.
bite on lips. You like I like to like bite on.
Like, can I eat without you talking about the nasty? Because I feel like you just want to get me on my back, and it's like, is that all you want? Because all you bring up is sex. We're gonna have a serious conversation, and then boom, it's sexual again. And then a serious conversation, and then boom, it's sexual again. And I'm just like, bro, do you have nothing interesting to talk about besides that? That's all you bring to the table? Like, ew. Like, I'm so tired of them talking about that. I would enjoy those conversations more if I saw something more passionate with them. You know what I mean? Yeah, I need to stop reading books. Because, you know, like when in the books, like, they're slow with it. Good books, they're slow with it, and then you see like, fiery passion, and then they be humping each other. But with JR and Sandy, again, it's production. They're probably cutting the clips. All you hear is, yeah, our sex would be so passionate. And it's like, okay, Scorpios, we get it, guys. You guys are the best sexual partners out in the universe. We get it. Jeez, nobody cares. You guys just sound like little ass kids, teenagers. It's weird. Get a grip. No, literally get a grip. Okay, let's move on. After the little dates that everybody else had, we move into the meeting for the trial marriage, which is called the choosing, right? And all the singles have to come together and choose the partner they would want to basically play house. So whoever they deemed compatible, they basically paired up with and began the trial marriage. So Scotty and Zaina picked each other. Mariah and Micah picked each other. Chanel and Dave picked each other. And when Dave picked Chanel, when I tell you Micah, this is the passion I'm talking about. When a man is really crying up for you, this is how he should look, sound, and should be able to feel it. I felt it over the screen. So imagine in real life.
I ain't gonna lie, like, she's my best friend, so don't ever have her asked out. I always make sure she's safe. That's the one thing I gotta ask from you, bro. Like, she's really my best friend, so as long as she's safe, you safe.
Literally, I cried with him. JR picked Sandy. Are you guys surprised? No. So Arya wanted JR and Sandy wanted JR, but JR picked Sandy. Guys, listen, I'm not mad at the fact that JR wants Sandy, okay? I'm just turned off by the fact that it almost feels like they want each other for lustful reasons and not for the purpose of the show. It doesn't seem like they want to get better for their actual real partners. They just want to have fun. They just want to hall pass. And even Nick said it. Nick was like, it's looking like you're getting real comfortable real quick. And
Eye contact, you know, that's something that's I'm not really good at.
Well, you seem to be fine with it.
so I can agree with him because she tries to Sandy is a gaslighter. She goes to try to guilt trip Nick and say, oh, you don't know our connection, and you're giving me those eyes, and you're giving me anxiety, and he's only giving you anxiety because you know you have no self-control. Because whether a person is looking at me like, oh, you're gonna cheat on me or not, I know me, and I'm not a cheater. So you can say whatever you want. You can give me the eyes, you could say whatever you want. We'll see the end. But because you know, okay, you know, you even said it at cocktail hours with JR, you're like, oh, you're dangerous. Other people are the safer option, but I really want to try it out with you. You literally already said it to JR. And you had a kiss with him. On y'all first date, first real date, you had a kiss with him. So you picking JR and him picking you already knew it was dangerous, and other people would have been the safer option and still pick JR. Honestly, if my real intent is to marry the partner I came in with, whether this guy is my type or not, I'm not gonna hurt the person who gave me the ultimatum, because I don't want to hurt my partner. But with Sandy, she's mad selfish. She's like, this is the whole point of the show, and I'm supposed to have sex with him. I'm supposed to kiss him. And it's like, no, you don't. You're supposed to get to know him. That's what you're supposed to do. Nobody's forcing you to sleep with this man. Nobody's forcing you to kiss this man. If you weren't attracted to him, you wouldn't kiss him. But because you're attracted to him and you have this hall pass, you're going full throttle. And if Nick did that to you, and you're with a guy you didn't really like, you would feel hurt. You would feel hurt too. But because you're with this supermodel in your eyes, you're just like, oh, but it's the point of the show. It's the point. But if Nick had a supermodel in his hand that he was humping and ready to like take his clothes off for, you wouldn't feel that great. You know what I mean? See, to me, is a real gaslighter. Like, girl, bye. You have anxiety because you have no self-control. Stop it. I just didn't see no genuine connection with JR and Sandy. He wants to convince the whole table that they have a genuine connection under fucking 24 hours. And it's just like, again, maybe the producers made the script is showing us only their stupid ass conversations. But dang, what happened to the 2-3 years that you were with Nick? That's my whole thing. I can't just move on because somebody's attractive. I was with this man for 2-3. I cannot just kiss you on the mouth, lock hands with you, let you caress me, spoon me, all that. I just can't do it yet. Am I childish? Maybe. Maybe. The only true connection I seen was Vanessa and Nick, and even that, they only gave us a little bit of that. I don't even know if their connection is genuine or they just settled for the first person they got along with. Both went to art school. They both dropped out of art school. They're both weird because they do art. He liked girls that farts. He thinks it's cute. I don't know. It's weird, but they had more connection than Sandy and JR. You know what I mean? If anything, I thought that Vanessa and Nick were gonna be like this and leave together. The episode ends there with a cliffhanger with JR about to pick Sandy or Aria, but we all know. But I'm still gonna reveal the other couples that picked each other for the trial marriage. So Aria ended up picking Caleb since JR didn't pick her, and with Vanessa picking Nick, that's 6 couples. And yeah. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for the latest updates every Thursday and Saturdays. So Thursdays at 12 p.m. and Saturdays at 2 o'clock. I wasn't even gonna do the ultimatum because nobody's watching my videos yet. But yeah, I had so much fun. Let me know in the comments who's your favorite couple, who's your least favorite couple. And honestly, I don't like nobody. Honestly, I don't like nobody, but I really like Caleb. He's the only person I truly like because, like I said, I like nice guys. And Caleb seems nice so far. So stay tuned for episode 2 and 3 coming up next week. And yeah, I'm excited to do the next reveal. Anyways, let me know if you guys watched the ultimatum or you're not into that. Alright, guys. Alright, guys. Alright, guys.